So every time when we're watching TV, I used to go underneath the sofa, the sofas. You see, I used to sleep around, go around there, watch the TV from underneath. So, because now when we were young, when cars came, we used to stand up, all stand up. Now we were watching Soccer Edge or Superman or anything on TV. I love TV. So I used to be underneath them. So I could hear all their gossip. So I always hear them gossip about these two brothers. It was these brothers, you see, they are penning people and then they are putting their own people inside. Up until the whole location started now to realize that, because most of the houses that were penned, because people were told, okay, buy baby, like my father, they came to pen my father's house. You see, so so him too, he was a baby from the poor, even now penning off Cisnan. So now, when people started talking, so those two brothers now, the whole community now was rise up to kill them. Yeah, I remember it was around 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the afternoon, coming back from work. I was young. Even now, you see, when I remember that boy, I always say to myself, but I was very evil when I was young, because I was around 7 years or 8 years. But what happened when I came? The first man, they already took him to pieces. He was in pieces. The first brothers of those, they was chopped to 2 pieces. Yeah, the both brothers. But this one, when I came, I still remember that boy. I had a pack on my back. You see, I was standing there. I see him. I'm standing there. People are going past me. They are killing this man. They were taking him apart. One man had a hook. You see those hook for hooking meats in the butcher.
Yeah.
It's got a small size, and then it's got a huge side here for hooking the meat.
Yeah.
Yes, like a hanger. I remember that man, he had that hook. He had it by the small side of it. So when he hit that man on the stomach, it went in. When he pulled it, all the intestines came out. They were stabbing him. They were taking him with bush knives and pangas. I was standing so close that these people that were killing, they would keep bumping on me. You see, now growing up when we were young, if they were killing or burning anybody, we used to be forced to come and watch it. You could not feel sympathy or what. You must come and watch. Many of us, even I remember this guy, Unkunzi, was given a guy, because this guy, they tried to shoot him, he couldn't die, you see. So they gave Unkunzi, because he was young, they believed that those powers, they can be breached only by if he's shot by a child. So when Unkunzi was around 7, 8 years, they gave him a gun, he shot that man. He shot him dead because they couldn't shoot him. I remember same guy, Unkunzi again, they were killing a guy, they gave him a knife to shoot. That's why my father or family, my father never wants us to linger around in the streets, to roam the streets, because now at that time when you grew up, things like that happened. You were forced. Like me, I was coming back. I was not forced to watch, but I remember one thing. The way I was so pleased, the way I was so happy, but they were taking a man apart, you see. Because after that, you see that it was the ghost that from my childhood, I never enjoyed sleep. Every time I would wake up red, I would wake up wet, screaming sometimes, you see, because those things started to affect me. Even growing up until now, I drink now in the mid 200s, about 210, 15. Those things started going away. But
2010, 2015.
Yeah, I still had those ghosts. You see, those ghosts of those people die. You see, it's like when I was 10 years, I've already seen like more than a dozen people get killed in our area. Those times of post-apartheid. Because I remember we even played with the dead. I remember one man. He came out. I was staying in K section at that time, and I think it was 1989, if I'm not mistaken. You see, where a red car came. There was Uputi on the road. They were comrades, but there was Isianda. It was an IP area. Now, what separated Isianda from us, IP? What separated Isianda from us? It was just a small fence, just a small fence. But there were brutal wars. These were fought. You see, these people fighting with Isianda. So this car that came. So when the car came, Uputi were on the road. They were comrades. You see, they started shooting at that car. When they shot at the car, I remember was a tall guy, old man, he had a white beard. He came out of the car. They were shooting at him. He came inside our yard, go to our next door yard. When he got there, I think was they already dug they were gonna fence the thing with bricks. So there was an opening, a space for the thing. This was dug. So I think that man ran. He was already hit. He hid in that hello. It was like it was man-made, you see. So now I think that man ran because the following day when we came, that man, okay, they asked the car, who you coming from, where you come from? They said, no, we're not from Isianda. They were not IP. They were actually staying in our road. But they can throw Isianda. So that's what they thought they were IFPs. So
Okay.
yeah, but now they never even now after that when the comrades let them go, they never stopped to look for that old man because it was an old man who was tall and then he had a white beard. So we as children the following day we saw that man. I remember we used to go there and throw stones at him. We were young, throw stones. Yeah, we used to play with the dead when you were young. When you were crap.
Sure.
We used to throw stones up, and I think it dogs ate him up because many of the people that died in our areas, like the one that was burned in our crossroad, they burned it was a woman. They burnt her. They burnt her to ashes. Up until there was only a small scar, like they say, black, scotch black, but only a buttocks going down were never touched by the flame. So all the upper torso was burned. But now those things, they stayed in the road for